Static files are not accessible cross-origin if we call use static files before use CORS. But if we reverse the order, every static file becomes accessible to permitted origins. So we have an all or none type of situation. CORS can either be disabled for every static file or disabled for none. This tutorial explains how to enable CORS for just a small subset of files, as is done by the various CDN networks. We have already created a project and you can obtain it from the downloads attached to this tutorial. I will now explain how the order of use CORS and use static files it affects the cross-origin behavior. This is first thing that we will demonstrate and we need to know. First of all, open the Solution Explorer. We have added a folder called www.root to hold the static files as usual. It contains a CSS file as well as a JS file that we shall later try to access cross-origin. These files, they contain anything. We are not interested in what they contain. So let us say that we have two files, one a CSS file and one a JS file. Next, open the program.cs file and let's see it line by line. First three lines are the usual code. After that, we have defined a default cross-origin policy to allow cross-origin requests from a third-party website. The call to use static files, it precedes use CORS, which means that static files will not be accessible cross-origin even if they are done from the third-party website. Let's verify this behavior. Run the project and allow the home page to open. Open the command prompt and type the following curl command. Hit enter to receive the response. We observe that there is no header for allow cross-origin requests. Thus, static files are not accessible even to the permitted origins. This is simply because of the order of use CORS and use static files. And next, let us change the precedence by moving use CORS before use static files as you see here. Now again run the project and again open the command prompt and type the same curl command again. This time the header access control allow origin is sent by the server, which means that the CORS policy was applied. Let's also make a similar request to the JavaScript file. And we observe that the header access control allow origin is again sent by the server, which means the CORS policy was applied to this JS file also. So let's now list the problem. It appears that there is no method to exclude some files while including others at the same time. The problem therefore is how to apply CORS policy only to a specific CSS file or say to a given folder while excluding some files like the JS file. To solve this problem, start by defining a policy that will apply to the CSS file or to that folder. After that, use the onPrepareResponse property to apply this policy when that resource is fetched. Open the Solution Explorer and modify the program.cs file. I will now explain it line by line. First, add a named policy to the services collection. This policy allows cross-origin requests from a third-party website. And next, call use static files with an overload that accepts static file options and set the onPrepareResponse property. The handler is used to add or change the response headers. An if condition compares the name or path of the requested resource. We can now filter out all files except the CSS file we want to be accessible cross-origin. This if condition can be used to filter out the files that we want to be accessible cross-origin. Here you can make a test for a specific extension, make a test for a specific file name, make a test for a specific folder also. So this is the critical point. And now in this if condition, first extract the two cross origin services from the services container. Then obtain the named cross origin CORS policy. This is the policy that we want to apply to this request. Construct a cross origin CORS result based on this policy and apply it to the response. Take note of the code that we have done here. Everything else is taken care of by the code executing behind the scenes. We don't have to worry about the finer details about adding the header, adding anything else. Everything is done behind the scenes and it is taken care of automatically. Run the project again and again open the command prompt and make a request to the CSS file. We observe that the access control allow origin header is now present as expected. And let's finally verify if the JS file is now blocked from cross-site access. Run the project again and again open the command prompt and make a request to the JS file now. We observe that the access control allow origin header is absent as expected. And thus we have learned how to selectively allow cross-origin requests to static files like CSS and JS files. Thank you.